A little bit ago, I created my own version of Frankenstein's monster. Well, it's time for Frankenstein to get a few upgrades. Hey everybody, my name is Sam and welcome back to Samcraft. That's right, welcome back to the part 2 of Frankenstein's creations. What I mean by that is my DIY dust collection system using a shop vac and cyclone and a little bit of stuff around the shop. If you've not seen the build video, it is a precursor to this, so you may want to go check it out, or you can watch this one before or not watch the other one. I don't care, I'm not the video police, but it'll probably make more sense if you do watch the other. So stop and go back. For everyone else who is already up to speed, let's go ahead and talk about the problems with my dust collector system thing that I built. I've identified two major problems with my dust collection system since building it, and I want to say major problems, but they're really not major, although they do affect the whole outcome as a whole, so I guess they are major. Problem number one is the fact that my shop vac just doesn't cut it hardly anymore. It doesn't really have that much suction, it is not running right, and I'm kind of concerned of it kind of overheating, melting, and burning the whole world down. And that wouldn't be good. Problem number two is that the blue plastic bucket, which is actually part of my dust right separator, not really a cyclone, wants to be a cyclone system, it doesn't seal very well against the plywood box, and as such is causing the system as a whole not to really work that good, and I have kind of a bomb of dust inside my dust collection box. So come with me as I figure out solutions to those two problems. best idea I could come up with as far as how to make a system for the bucket to seal against the plywood, not have to reconfigure everything, and still have everything fit inside the box as much as possible, was to just cut a hole in the top of my dust collection box. This does require for me to disconnect the PVC from the top of the cyclone when I want to open and close the hatch, but that's not a big issue with my design because I have enough length of the vertical pipe to slide up and down. So it's as simple as pulling the pipe up, moving it over, and then I can open the hatch and everything's just fine. Given the number of times that I will be getting into this hatch, it's not that big of an issue, and it actually works out pretty good. With the shop vac dying, I didn't want to put it back in the system, and I was really waiting and saving money to get a replacement. That day finally arrived, and I picked up a new vacuum cleaner. I can't say shop vac anymore, because that's not the brand name. That's going to be a hard habit to break. What I got is a rigid name brand wet dry vac, model number WD4070. I didn't specifically seek out Rigid as a tool name brand. I'm not loyal to different companies or colors of tools or anything of that sort. What I was looking for was a small compact vac that had good suction, good high CFM ratings, and was affordable. It just so happened the Rigid fit all those criteria and was even close by to pick up in a store close to me. After that, I needed to find a way to seal the lid of the bucket to the hatch and to the plywood, but not glue it in place or have it to be too problematic. I went to my local hardware store and found some rubber threshold weather stripping and decided that it worked pretty good. I cut it in half lengthwise and attached it to the top of the bucket with a bunch of screws. This effectively gives me a rubber gasket on the top lip of the bucket that the plywood can squish and smush against and make an airtight seal. This also means that the hatch is a little bit difficult to close right now, but I know the rubber gasket's going to kind of relax and wear out and kind of lose its strength over time, so I think it's going to end up being a good solution in the long run. That being said, this is an evolving process. I've made a Frankenstein of a shop vac box here, so there's no telling what's really going to happen in the end. Well guys, hope you enjoyed this quick little update and improvements to my dust collection system. I am still extremely impressed, overly happy, and just thrilled that this thing works as good as it does, and again, is as quiet as it is. It is so nice to lose the remote all the time. It is nice to be able to turn your shop vac on and not be totally inundated with sound and totally drowned out to drive yourself mad. That being said, the biggest noise producer in my shop now is this CNC behind me, and that's going to be addressed with an enclosure in the near future. I'm not going to say near future, but in the future. If you have any questions or comments, leave them for me down below. Otherwise, take care, and I'll see you next time in the workshop.